Section 6 of Poems of American History, the Colonial Era. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recorded by Sinead Vaughan. Poems of American History, the Colonial Era. Chapter 2, In the Wake of Columbus, Part 1. The news of Columbus's discoveries soon spread through Western Europe, and in May 1497, John Cabot sailed from Bristol, England in the Matthew, and discovered what he supposed to be the Chinese coast on June the 24th. The thrifty Henry VII gave him the sum of £10 as a reward for this achievement. Cabot was the first European since the Vikings to set foot on the North American continent. The First Voyage of John Cabot, 1497. He chases shadows, sneered the British tars, as well fling nets to catch the golden stars as climb the surges of earth's utmost sea. But for the Venice pilot meagre Wan, his swarthy sons beside him life began with that slipped cable when his dream rode free. And Henry on his battle-rested throne, the councils done, would speak in musing tone of Cabot, not the cargo he might bring. Man's heart, though morsel scant for hungry crow, is greater than a world can fill, and so fair fall the shadow-seekers, quoth the king. Colonies were planted by the Spaniards in Cuba and Hispaniola, but the New World continued to be for them a land of wonder and mystery. They were quite ready to believe any marvel, among others that somewhere to the north lay an island named Bimini, on which there was a fountain, whose waters gave perpetual youth to those who bathed therein. The Legend of Waukulla, 1513. Through darkening pines the cavaliers marched on their sunset way, while crimson in the trade winds rolled far Appalachee Bay. Above the water levels rose palmetto crowns like ghosts of kings primeval, them behind the shadowy pines in hosts. O Cacique, brave and trusted guide, are we not near the spring, the fountain of eternal youth that health to age doth bring? The Cacique sighed, and Indian guide, the fount is fair, Waukulla. But vainly to the blossom flower will come the autumn rain, and never youth's departed days come back to age again. The future in the spirit lies, the earthly life is brief. 'Tis you that say the fountain hath life. So said the Indian chief. Nay, Indian king, thou knowest well the spring, and thou shalt die if thou dost fail our feet to it to bring. The Cacique sighed, and Indian guide, the spring is bright, Waukulla. Then said the guide, O men of Spain, a wondrous fountain flows from deep abodes of gods below, and health on men bestows. Blue are its deeps, and green its walls, and from its waters gleam the water stars, and from it runs the pure Waukulla's stream. But men of Spain, 'tis you who say that spring eternal youth and happiness to men again will bring. The Cacique sighed, and Indian guide, the fount is clear, Waukulla. March on, the land enchanted is, march on, ye men of Spain. Who would not taste the bliss of youth and all its hopes again? Enchanted is the land, behold, enchanted is the air. The very heaven is domed with gold, there's beauty everywhere. So said De Leon, cavaliers, we're marching to the spring, the fountain of eternal youth that health to age will bring. The Cacique sighed, and Indian guide, the fount is pure, Waukulla. Beneath the pines, beneath the yews, the deep magnolia shades, the clear Waukulla swift pursues its way through floral glades. Beneath the pines, beneath the yews, beneath night's falling shade, beneath the low and dusky moon, still marched the cavalcade. The river widens, said the men, are we not near the spring, the fountain of eternal youth that health to age doth bring? The Cacique sighed, and Indian guide, the spring is near, Waukulla. The fount is fair and bright and clear, and pure its waters run, Waukulla, lovely in the moon and beauteous in the sun. But vainly to the blossom flower will come the autumn rain, and never youth's departed days come back to man again. O men of Spain, 'tis you that say the spring eternal youth and happiness to withered years will bring. The Cacique sighed, and Indian guide, the fount is deep, Waukulla. The river to a grotto led, as to a god's abode. There lay the fountain bright with stars, stars in its waters flowed. The mighty live oaks round it rose, in ancient mosses clad. De Leon's heart beat high for joy, the cavaliers were glad. O men of Spain, O men of Spain, this surely is the spring, the fountain fair that health and joy to faces old doth bring. The cacique sighed, and Indian guide, the spring is old, Waukulla. Avalla, O my trusted friend, that we this day should see, strip off thy doublets and descend the glowing founts with me. The saints, I will, Avalla said, already young I feel, and younger than my sons shall I return to old Castile. Then plunged De Leon in the spring, and then Avalla old, and slowly rose each wrinkled face above the waters cold. The cacique sighed, and Indian guide, the fount is false, Waukulla. O vainly to the blossomed flower will come the autumn rain, and never youth's departed days come back to man again. The crowned Castilian could not bring the withered stalk a leaf, but came a sabre flash that morn, and fell the Indian chief. Another sabre flash, and then the guide beside him lay, and red the clear Waukulla ran toward Appalachee Bay. Then from the dead the Spaniards fled, and cursed the spring, Waukulla. Like comrades life was left behind, the years shall o'er me roll, for all the hopes that man can find lies hidden in the soul. Ye white sails lift and drift again across the southern main, there wait for me, there wait us all, the hollow tombs of Spain. Beneath the liquid stars the sails arose and went their way, and bore the gray-haired cavaliers from Appalachee Bay. The young chief slept, the maiden wept, beside the bright Waukulla. Hezekiah Butterworth. In 1512, Juan Ponce de Leon received a grant to discover and settle this fabulous island. He sailed from Puerto Rico in search of it in March 1513, and found an island but no fountain. Pushing on, he discovered the mainland March 27th, and on April 2nd landed and took possession of the country for the King of Spain, calling it Florida. The Fountain of Youth, a Dream of Ponce de Leon, 1513. 1. A story of Ponce de Leon, a voyager, withered and old, who came to the sunny Antilles in quest of a country of gold. He was wafted past islands of spices, as bright as the emerald seas, where all the forests seemed singing, so thick were the birds on the trees. The sea was as clear as the azure, and so deep and so pure was the sky, that the jasper walled city seemed shining, just out of the reach of the eye. By day his light canvas he shifted, and rounded strange harbors and bars. By night on the full tides he drifted, neath the low-hanging lamps of the stars. Near the glimmering gates of the sunset, in the twilight empurpled and dim, the sailors uplifted their voices and sang to the Virgin a hymn. Thank the Lord, said De Leon, the sailor, at the close of the rounded refrain. Thank the Lord, the Almighty, who blesses the ocean-swept banner of Spain. The shadowy world is behind us, the shining Capango before. Each morning the sun rises brighter on ocean and island and shore. And still shall our spirits grow lighter, as prospects more glowing unfold. Then on, merry men, to Capango, to the west and the regions of gold. 2. There came to De Leon, the sailor, some Indian sages who told of a region so bright that the waters were sprinkled with islands of gold. And they added, the leafy Bimini, a fair land of grottos and bowers, is there, and a wonderful fountain upsprings from its gardens of flowers. That fountain gives life to the dying, and youth to the aged restores. They flourish in beauty eternal, who set but their foot on its shores. Then answered De Leon the sailor, I am withered and wrinkled and old. I would rather discover that fountain than a country of diamonds and gold. 3. Away sailed De Leon the sailor, away with a wonderful glee, till the birds were more rare in the azure, the dolphins more rare in the sea. Away from the shady Bahamas, over waters no sailor had seen, till again on his wondering vision rose clustering islands of green. Still onward he sped till the breezes were laden with odors, and lo! A country embedded with flowers, a country with rivers aglow, more bright than the sunny Antilles, more fair than the shady Azores. Thank the Lord, said De Leon the sailor, as he feasted his eyes on the shores. We have come to a region, my brother, more lovely than earth of a truth, and here is the life-giving fountain, the beautiful fountain of youth. 4. Then landed De Leon the sailor, unfurled his old banner and sung, but he felt very wrinkled and withered, all around was so fresh and so young. The palms, ever verdant, were blooming, their blossoms e'en margined the seas. O'er the streams of the forests bright flowers hung deep from the branches of trees. Praise the Lord, sung De Leon the sailor. His heart was with rapture aflame, and he said, Be the name of this region by Florida given to fame. 'Tis a fair, a delectable country, more lovely than earth of a truth. I soon shall partake of the fountain, the beautiful fountain of youth. 5. But wandered De Leon the sailor, in search of that fountain in vain. No waters were there to restore him to freshness and beauty again. And his anchor he lifted and murmured, as the tears gathered fast in his eye, I must leave this fair land of the flowers, go back o'er the ocean and die. Then back to the dreary Tortugas, and back to the shady Azores. He was borne on the storm-smitten waters to the calm of his own native shores. And that he grew older and older, his footsteps enfeebled gave proof. Still he thirsted in dreams for the fountain, the beautiful fountain of youth. 6. One day the old sailor lay dying on the shores of a tropical isle, and his heart was enkindled with rapture, and his face lighted up with a smile. He thought of the sunny Antilles, he thought of the shady Azores, he thought of the dreamy Bahamas, he thought of fair Florida's shores. And, when in his mind he passed over his wonderful travels of old, he thought of the heavenly country, of the city of jasper and gold. Thank the Lord, said De Leon the sailor, thank the Lord for the light of the truth. I now am approaching the fountain, the beautiful fountain of youth. 7. The cabin was silent at twilight, they heard the birds singing a psalm, and the winds of the ocean low sighing through groves of the orange and palm. The sailor still lay on his pallet, 'neath the low-hanging vines of the roof. His soul had gone forth to discover the beautiful fountain of youth. Hezekiah Butterworth. In March 1521, De Leon led a large party to Florida and attempted to plant a colony there, but they were driven away by the Indians. De Leon himself was wounded in the thigh by an arrow. The wound was unskillfully treated, and the old adventurer died of it in Cuba shortly afterwards. Ponce de Leon, 1521. You that crossed the ocean old, not from greed of Inca's gold, but to search by vale and mount, wood and rock, the wizard fount, where time's harm is well undone. Here's to Ponce de Leon, and your liegemen every one. Surely, still beneath the sun, in some region further west, you live on and have your rest, while the world goes spinning round, and the sky hears the resound of 1,000 shrill new fames, which your jovial silence shames. Strength and joy your days endow, youth's eyes glow beneath your brow, wars and vigils are forgot, and the scythemen threat you not. Tell us of your knightly grace, tell us, left you not some trace, leading to that wellspring true, where old souls their age renew? Edith M. Thomas. End of section 6.